Hello everyone, extremely late here with a review of the newest Lana Del Rey album, Blue Banisters. That was a really unfortunate voice crack. Now, to preface this review before I actually start doing it, the album by the title of Blue Banisters was actually set to release earlier this year on July 4th, but was actually postponed to October. And to be honest, I wasn't super excited for this album because I have never really truly been a fan of Lana. And I know that might trigger a few people because, Lana Del Rey fans can be pretty intense. Yeah, whether it be the boring and really messy debut album, Born to Die, or just the Matt album from this year, Chemtrails Over the Country Club, it's pretty much all not for me. The only exception, though, is easily NFR from 2019. You knew I was gonna say it, but it's just clearly the best album in her catalog. I mean, it's fantastic. It's one of the best albums from 2019. It's the clear choice in her discography. Her previous work isn't really important now, so let's get onto the review of the newest Lana Del Rey album, Blue Banisters. So Textbook is a kind of weird opener for the record because it's kind of boring and doesn't do much to keep my attention. It oddly changes pace in the middle and tries to include some interesting ideas, but sadly falls short. I enjoy Lana's vocal tone and the overall sound of the song, but honestly, it's just kind of mismatched. And the title track is another song that really doesn't keep my interest at all. It sounds like a blue-era Joni Mitchell track, except made in 2021 and failed quite hard. It's like it's always on the verge of going somewhere, but never actually does. I just think the way Lana delivers her lyrics isn't interesting in the slightest, and it's another track that meanders to nowhere. Arcadia, which is the third song, was a single that I actually kind of enjoyed. I will say that I don't really enjoy the production pretty much all throughout this record. It's just kind of foggy, muddy, and gray, but I kind of like how the track uses it. I specifically really enjoy the tone of Lana's voice on this track and how somber it sounds. And yes, it's not a great track, but I think it's an alright single. And Black Bathing Suit attempts to inject life into the record, but kind of falls short. It's just a mixed bag of mush for me. I don't enjoy Lana's vocals on this one. The drums are random, and even though that was the point, it just doesn't really work in the slightest. I also don't enjoy the lyricism on the track, or the way it's presented. It's just not a good track. Yeah, it's not the best. If I could describe it in one word, it would be unfinished. And that's a pretty common trend throughout this album. But next is If You Lie Down With Me, which is a nice track that I kind of like. I still don't like how the song sounds sonically, as in production and such, but I don't think it's bad. And then the song Beautiful attempts to be exactly that, and somewhat succeeds with the vibe of the track being beautiful. But my problem is with how dime a dozen it sounds and how much meandering it just really does. Because seriously, tell me how many times you've heard a piano song overuse a few chords with the lyrics "You're beautiful" written all throughout. Give me a break, I've seen this a million times. And then the song Dealer is a really annoying and gross song. Though I will say I like the production. It's clear, smoother, nicer, and better than anything on the album. It is quite boring, repetitive, grating, and just kind of a dumb track. However, the record does kind of pick things up with Thunder, which is genuinely a beautiful song. I really enjoyed the melody, the lyricism is romantic but simple, and the production since the last track has been a lot clearer, and it's just a really great and pretty track with some pretty good instrumentation like the slight acoustic guitar, the great bass, and the dope drums. Definitely my favorite track so far. Then Nectar of the Gods is another kind of decent track. I enjoy the guitar, but it's kind of just another skip on the track list. Overall, Blue Banisters is an incredibly boring and one-note album. Pretty much no excitement anywhere on this record except for maybe a few tracks. And it's really just an album that's long, tedious, boring, and not really worth many listens at all. I will say there are some nice moments and ideas, but really overall not much of those ideas come together in a good fashion. Voice crack. And this is just kind of a matte and unfinished sounding record. It really could have done with some trimming of the fat. Feeling a strong 4 out of 10. That might seem a little bit harsh, but it's just my opinion, alright? Don't dislike bomb this, guys, because it's my opinion, alright? This is the US, I'm gonna stop myself. Peace. That's it for the review. And, yeah, that's about it. See ya.